We just had the most aggressive coin pump in all of cryptocurrency history. I know it's crazy when I say things like this, like Trump just manufactured the next altcoin cycle. Maybe if I put my suit on, you guys would take me more serious. Hold on one second. All right. How does that look? Okay, so Trump just manufactured the next altcoin cycle. I'm saying it with a suit on. It's legit. I get crypto used to be about degenerate gamblers, but that is not the case anymore. The president of the United States is not joking. He's making a lot of money off of this. Pat yourself on the back, because if you truly watch these videos, you're like, a lot of you guys in the comment section about to make money. So hit me up if you guys want to do business, because it's going to get real. I want you to take a look at this chart and the timing of what Trump has just did with CRO tokens. He basically just injected billions of dollars of liquidity into cryptocurrency kind of silently. People don't realize how significant this is, and I'm trying to give you some comparisons to really break it down. But he did it specifically at this point right here, where Bitcoin has previously made resistance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. It broke through and is now made support. And so just to be very simple with you guys, resistance is pretty much a point where price has resisted. So it resisted, came down, resisted, came down, resisted. And the more times it resists, when it does break through, the more of the pump that we get. And so when it gets really crazy is when this previous resistance turns into support. Now, for the people out there like, man, I look at these YouTubers and this is very basic technical analysis. I want to explain that so you guys can understand it, because there's one tall tale sign of a beginner crypto guy is when he's drawing up crazy stuff on a chart with all this madness. I'll explain what I mean by that. But I am purposely picking very beginner technical analysis, and I'll explain exactly why. But at the exact same time, there's something else I wanted to show you before we get into that, which is the fact that Bitcoin dominance has broken. Look, it's at 12.63% from the top. This was the previous kind of mini altcoin cycle we experienced in November that had many 100x coins. Mini altcoin cycle, we broke that. We're at 12.63%. So this is, in fact, and I said it before this happened, I said it over here, this is in fact the most convincing starting point of an altcoin cycle. I believe it is the altcoin cycle. And this is Bitcoin dominance. So you guys know Bitcoin dominance drops. That means that altcoins are gaining dominance over Bitcoin. So this is what it looks like before. And I anticipate it's going to be even more aggressive than this. This cycle, this is where we're at now. So we just started. The money-making opportunity is upon us. And at the same time, we have Bitcoin bouncing off of previous resistance, you know, really turning into support. This is now support. So again, resistance is where price resisted. Support is where price is supported. This could be the first support point. And usually when resistance turns into support, the price skyrockets. It goes up a lot, as you can see right here. Again, very baby technical analysis, but just to be clear with you, I do it on purpose. Let me explain why. Before we get into that, I want to show you guys something. CoinPix Genesis is a group that I run. It's $1 a month. And the only reason we charge $1 is to keep out the scammers. And there's a 7-day free trial. And in this group, they actually have right here, look, CoinPix altcoin database. These are not buy and sell calls, but these are the coins that we have researched. Look at this coin on there, CRO. Cronos. We talked about this for a long time. We have been talking about what Trump is doing with this coin, which is going to be one of the main topics of this video, because the price of the coin has been skyrocketing. So you guys can get access to this group again for $1 a month in the pinned comment below. Click that, you know, join, and we're building it out. It's not even close to done. I'm always in there. I'm always talking to people, responding to posts, and getting better and better. But go ahead and click the link in the pinned comment below, because we did talk about the coin that is currently pumping right now with Trump, which is behind the biggest liquidity injection into crypto we have probably ever seen. So CRO or Cronos is up 133% in the past 7 days. And this coin has been just doing numbers. Look at this crazy numbers right here. Now, the reason for it is because Trump just pretty much bought all of the tokens and then made a promise to inject way more money into billions of dollars. Now, what I did is a side-by-side comparison of the Ethereum spot ETF to what he's doing with Cronos. And it's kind of mind-blowing. Like, I don't know how else to explain it other than the fact that let me relax, okay? Listen to what I'm saying, because I say this, but I feel like it goes between people's eyes, through one ear, through another. They don't really listen. They're not really catching what I'm saying. You could ignore good information. Like, people don't understand this, but it's not just my ability to make videos, but also your ability to receive it. So listen, the president of the United States is pumping crypto through a couple of variables. Number one, regulation pushing. He's making sure these cryptos get regulated. Number two, he's literally making coins, an NFT project himself. Number three, he's literally creating SPAC companies. These are basically companies, public companies on the New York Stock Exchange that is only used. The only purpose of this company is to buy crypto stuff. That's it. That's the only purpose. So he's crowdfunding from the stock market to dump money in crypto. Number four, he has been bugging the Federal Reserve to inject liquidity into the market. Not just bugging, he's been screaming at them, doing whatever he can to finesse the Federal Reserve into dropping interest rate, aka injecting liquidity into the market. And number five, this man is rolling out executive orders for 401ks to allow it to buy crypto. He's literally whipping out every single tool, every single power mechanism he has as a president to make sure crypto pumps and becomes the world leader. And then he's taking his personal money and throwing as much of it as he can into crypto. Listen, can you listen? Are you listening? Are you catching it? I don't know how else to explain it. I don't know what you want me to do. The only thing else I could do at this point is literally give you money in crypto. Like, that's all I got. Like, I don't know how else to explain it to you. The only thing I got is if I go to your house and buy the money for you and then put it in your wallet. I've done that for some people. And then they lost the crypto. They lost, like, there's some people I gave them crypto so that they can make money off this. And then they lost it. They lost it. So I don't know what else to do. Like, please, hear me out. Last chance. Warning, warning. Like, listen, sorry. I know I got a little off topic. I'm getting fired up because, bro, let me show you what I'm saying. It comes to a certain point where you just have to get like really like straightforward and simple because people don't listen. And I can kind of prove that. Here's some famous quotes here. Leonardo da Vinci, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, right? It's like so simple. Like, we can get into all these details. A lot of times people do that. It could be like rejection fueled into pride because they think they're smart, and then they get really crazy and they're trying to find all these reasons why the market won't pump or why it will pump, and it's really complex and nobody understands it. But the simplicity of it, just like the simple, is just the Trump is trying to pump crypto, right? Bruce Lee, it's not about daily increase, but daily decrease. Hack away the unessential. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks at once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Like, truth, there's a simplicity to it. There's a simplicity to it. And this is the same reason why I pick, and I'm actually launching a course in my community about technical analysis and the indicators I use, because I've used maybe over 50. It has to be more than 50. I've tried everything. A lot of them are a waste of time. And everybody, like what I've seen on YouTube and what I've done in the past, the reason why I know this so well is because I've done this for a while, is they try to look really smart on YouTube. People try to look really, really smart. It's like the more dense information you can pack into the video, the smarter you look and the more accurate you look. But it's not like actually accurate. There's like the truth, and then there's the perception of the truth. Those are two separate things. And so what happens, I've seen it, bro. I've seen it and I've done it. I just pack as much information as possible and then just like dead wrong. Like, so I've come to a conclusion that technical analysis should not be complicated. And here's my exact reason. Number one, high liquidity markets have more consistency in technical analysis. So when it comes to especially your low liquid coins, the ones that are really small, technical analysis is very irrelevant. It becomes more irrelevant. I think the only coins right now that have relevance in technical analysis in crypto is Bitcoin and Ethereum. Everything else is like really irrelevant. And when it comes to technical analysis, a lot of people won't say this because they got a course to sell you. They got something to where it looks like you're learning something. It's crazy, but it's true. TA is a crowd signal, not a secret edge. And I'm going to explain more what that means. It's called the Schilling point. but it's the only reason TA works is people expect it to work. So if you get a lot of people to make a move on the same signal, then, and TA, by the way, is just technical analysis, what you see when they draw up lines on charts and stuff like that. The only reason it works is because people expect it to work. There's a concept called the Schilling point. The Schilling point is a natural focal point people gravitate to without direct coordination. In markets, TA levels, support, resistance, round numbers, moving averages act as focal points. Basically, they work not because of math, but because crowds agree to respect them. Listen, more adoption equals stronger reaction, but visibility also makes magnets for manipulation in the markets. So I like indicators that more people know about. So the more simple the indicator it is, the more simple the explanation and the indicator, the more likely the person is to adopt it, the more likely it works. But be careful, because these more adopted indicators are the manipulation point for people that want to make money, that have a lot of money, okay? So please keep in mind, let me just kind of recap. Do not use low liquidity, okay? TA. Don't use TA on low liquidity coins. It's irrelevant. Make sure the higher the liquidity, the more relevant the TA. Also understand, try to use simple indicators, not complex. The more complex, the less likely someone adopted it, the less likely it's to actually be consistent and work on a large scale, okay? And then also understand that technical analysis is more times than not manipulated on purpose by market makers and whales to take money from people. So let's go into what's going on, because this is not a joke. I don't believe I'm going to go buy CRO. I think it's a great coin. We've already researched it. Like I showed you, it's in our public database. But what I really am looking at is they put $200 million cash. They put $220 million in warrants and $5 billion in equity line. And essentially what that is, that's credit against their own stock. So they launched a company, $1 billion of CRO tokens. They launched a company, and people bought into that company, and then they used that money to buy CRO tokens, bro. And they allow themselves $5 billion worth of equity. And it might be like, oh, you're just throwing around big numbers. But if you compare it to something, this is where it gets really crazy. So for example, Trump Media is buying $105 million worth of CRO. Crypto.com is buying $50 million of Trump Media stock. So Crypto.com, that's the CRO token. They're literally think about that. They're buying Trump Media stock back. He's tying his company to the crypto company, right? So the founders are locked up for a year, and it's a staged release over 3 years. This is a vesting period. It's normal. And they're planning to run it on a Chronos validator. This is the staking rewards. It's basically the consensus mechanism. Doesn't really matter that much. But let me show you this is where it gets really cool. So this is the first US public company using an exchange token as a core treasury asset. So this is like a treasury coin. We've seen this with specifically MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy is the Bitcoin company, which used to be a data company, and then they turned into just a company that buys Bitcoin and leverages Bitcoin. And they're buying billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. So this is the first time we've seen it. Now we're seeing it with altcoins. So this just really, really aligns with what I've been saying. Look, Bitcoin dominance is dropping. I'm not joking with you. When altcoin season really starts to gain momentum and take off, everything's momentum based. It's not starts tomorrow. That's a thumbnail. That's clickbait, right? This is momentum stuff. So as the momentum increases, it's going to get crazy, really crazy. So essentially, this is a direct Trump family link for crypto markets and regulation. They're not going to get sued. What it's basically going to do is set up a structure for all other companies to start doing this with altcoins. Because we saw it with MicroStrategy, Bitcoin. They bought Bitcoin, put it on their treasury. A treasury is basically their company's saving, investing accounts. They bought Bitcoin. We saw it with Bitcoin. We saw a whole bunch of other companies doing the same thing with Bitcoin. Then we saw it a little bit with Ethereum. Now we see Trump just taking it full-fledged altcoin mode with CRO. And so we're going to see other companies doing the same thing. Companies are going to start buying crypto assets. And this is where it gets crazy. I want to just explain this chart right here. So the amount of money that he's kind of putting up is insane. So he has $5 million worth of credit. Let me just go over it one more time. He has billion dollars worth of equity. So this is equity for the future. It's not right now. And he put up a lot, like almost $1 billion. So total, that's $6.42 billion of CRO plus credit. This is the crypto SPAC deal that he's talking about. Now, if we look at the Ethereum spot ETF, which if you compare, there was a Bitcoin spot ETF that started the altcoin cycle and an Ethereum spot ETF. Those combined, they started the altcoin mini cycle that we see right here. I believe this is the reason we had this mini altcoin season, and it's the reason why Bitcoin's price has done so well since the beginning of this cycle. Those were the main reasons. Bitcoin's up this much. Actually, that's too recent. I'm talking about over here. So the reason Bitcoin since 2024 has gotten this high, the primary reason is the Bitcoin halving, which is consistent throughout time. So that's not like an isolated thing, but like specifically right now, this cycle, it's the spot ETFs. So we have an Ethereum spot ETF and a Bitcoin spot ETF. So I looked at the Ethereum spot ETF, and since the beginning of the Ethereum spot ETF, there's only been $1.83 billion, guys. That's it. That's only $1.83 billion that has come into the market. And guys, hear me out. They're pledging like 6.42 billion. So this is like a big initiative, and the direct, like, I guess, line of like credibility. I don't know how else to explain it, but like basically what they're it's a signal to altcoins. It's like, hey, we had these big, institutional plays on Bitcoin. We had this big institutional play on Ethereum. And then we had like a whole bunch of stuff that had to do with that, a whole bunch of institutional adoption mechanisms from that realm. But this is like the first big institutional accumulation, specifically in something that's not Ethereum, but it's in altcoins. And that's where it gets insane. And that's where people need to pay attention. Altcoin season has started. We are in the period where we're waiting for momentum. It started, momentum's gonna come, and a lot of people are gonna be very upset because they did not listen, they did not watch, and they did not educate themselves. That's pretty much it for this video. We do have potentially another regulation video coming soon. I've been doing some research on it. The next big topic, like that's really important to me, is the Clarity Act. That's where it gets real in the field. That's like probably one of the most significant altcoin events. It could be the most significant altcoin event in human history. And that's coming soon. So, dang, I don't know how to end this video other than the fact if you don't get with it, you will get left behind. I hope you guys join the Dollar Group. Stay active on my YouTube channel, and I will see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching this video. Peace out.